Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by eBay and Sparesbox. This week, we've got a brand new mini-series. We do have our old faithful ute back in the studio. It's been a while since we've done anything with this car. You may remember it from the original eBay vs Sparesbox build-off, the great Aussie build-off where we did a heap of challenges with Motive video at Cootamundra Airport. Unfortunately, Motive's ute is currently being prepared for sale. We've got our ute behind us, so we're going to dive on into the project. The challenge is simple. We've got to turn this thing into a bit more of a Summernats crowd pleaser. So we've got a supercharger, a clutch kit, a diff center, and a few other bits to chuck in. First and foremost, we've got a Mace Torque Lock M80 LSD. This is a gear or worm type LSD, not a plate type LSD. These are really good for street use because they're quiet and they don't have any wearing components. So for a car that's actually going to do a lot of Ks as well as a lot of abuse in performance or motorsport applications, but still being a registered street car, this would be my go-to LSD. The clutch kit, Old Faithful Extreme twin plate. This is a 230mm clutch. This is also a motorsports orientated clutch because it is going to cop a lot of abuse. We use these a lot in our projects. I've got these in pretty much every project car I've ever put together, including my drift car. Same thing, these are super reliable. They fit really well. They have really nice features like a chromoly lightweight flywheel for predominantly motorsport use, but these are also good street clutches with an organic disc in it. These are a sintered clutch, so more skewed towards motorsport because this thing isn't going to be a daily driver, so we really want it to live up and cop that abuse, so these are my go-to. And the showpiece, this is our Kappa Supercharger, so this does have a full kit to go with it, but we just got the hero piece out of the box for you guys to check it out. This is a Vortex centrifugal blower. Comes with a full bracket kit, all of the belt pulleys, all sorts of bits and pieces. It comes with a full intercooler kit, and it also comes with a lot of accessories like a map sensor to basically handle the boost, and it is a direct fit for our ute. And into oh, my back! Oh, now I can't do any work. Oh, I don't have the bifida for that.
You may notice here we've got some high performance upgrades to the suspension. Cobwebs are a little known way to keep your dampers cool. Very, very important when you're driving at 10/10 like this car will be. Got to get that spider power in there.
Don't really want to cop a tow bar to the chest. Just like every V8 ute, there's still rubber in the guards from the last shenanigans.
Yeah, that was just durability testing of the tyres, wasn't it?
Turns out they're not that durable.
I think we've got some endurancing clearancing going on here.
Have you ever pulled the subframe out of one of these?
A while ago now.
Okay, good, that makes one of us. Mint.
Oh man, why'd you put a plug up there? You absolute gooses.
Wouldn't it be logical to just have one connector to unplug the whole subframe wiring harness? Hey, you good? Whoa, that's been in that before. I think this has had a failed Guibo in the past. There's very tail shafty shaped damages.
There is a lot of people replace those rubber donuts with billet aluminium.
Yeah.
And the next thing that happens is that they post on the internet complaining about drivetrain vibrations.
Yeah, noises and.
Shockingly, the engineers who put these fine vehicles together sometimes know what they're doing.
Sometimes.
Not all the time.
The other thing that's worth mentioning too is when these vehicles are engineered from new, they're not made to support 500 kilowatts.
No.
They're designed to support whatever the factory running gear combination puts out with probably a 20% headroom.
They're not designed with regular like 6,000 RPM clutch dumps on sticky tyres.
Why not?
You know, I think it's just, you know, it's a failing, but I'm
assuming these are. I'm just kind of freestyling it.
Yeah, and that's right. And there's when you drop the entire cassette, once you get the calipers off, we should just basically pop some wiring clips out for the ABS, and then everything comes down as a unit. So it keeps everything in the cassette. Then it'll be plastic fuel tank time. This platform was used in other countries as other vehicles. So This rear end was designed to be swapped out for a high performance rear end that has a much larger diff, 9.3 diff, bigger drive shafts, stronger arms, all that sort of stuff. The thing is, like, when they're designing these cars, it's all got to be modular because they don't want to stop a line to
change one component.
Change some widgets over.
Yeah, that's standard, like mass production type deals.
Yep.
I think we'll have to undo these arms to be able to actually get the hubs out far enough to pop those shafts out. Plurp. Oh, that's yummy.
I think it might be a good idea that you are rebuilding this particular
milkshake maker.
Third member.
There's some sparklies in there. To be fair though, that's probably the limited slip diff just imploding.
It's almost like someone was doing burnouts with it, Benny.
No, I wouldn't believe that.
Who would have been doing that?
It wasn't me.
What reprobate would have been doing that?
It wasn't me with you sitting in the passenger seat squealing like a little schoolgirl. Wow, the guard line has been cut, I think from belt slaps. That was mad at the airport.
Yeah, like when you've got access.
That was a good bit of fun. You don't go down there to deliver milkshakes, do you?
Well, judging by that diff oil you did, you just brought the milkshake back to Mittagong.
Holy redback nest, Batman.
Is that for the
caliper?
Calipers!
Where is the caliper? Where is the caliper?
This is also where it comes back to a modular assembly.
Yeah.
So it's designed so that when you go to a service centre, they drop the entire unit out and work on it as a cassette, and then.
Yeah. How's it go? There was not a lot of oil in that.
Oh wow.
I would have anticipated a lot more oil than that.
I do believe that oil may have been burnt up.
Yeah, but it's not spilled though.
It doesn't smell. It doesn't actually smell burnt, which is amazing considering that diff was put through significant testing.
It had done a lot. It had high wheel speed, shall we say?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, not bad. There's just not a lot of shaft length, so it's actually pushed the shaft back in. So that's disengaged.
Yeah.
And it's literally re-engaged it.
Easy install.
Sure. The silly thing is, right, if those weren't there, it'd be such an easy removal. Like if those braces bolted in, you'd literally drop it out and you get it to the point where you'd be able to droop it enough that you could pull the shafts out. But no, we've got to unbolt these two lower arms and then do to get some shaft length out of it. You know him? Like, I suppose the one good thing is the shafts will just sit on that them once we get it out.
Exactly right.
Just like a chocolate milkshake, only deafening. Oh, that'll be the next problem. That's just a proper bad design, hey? Yarp. Oh, that's why it won't go anywhere, because I'm trying to fight the sway bar. Because your one's still bolted in.
I probably should have used some spray on this, because this bolt is nice and rusty. Ah, it smells good. There's certain products when you're working in a garage that smell horrible and they stick in your mind, and then
like transmission oil,
yeah,
or diff oil.
Manual gear oil is just the worst. And
nah, I don't reckon.
Then there are
rear diff oil is worse, for sure.
There are certain products that just smell great, and you forget about them, and then you use them, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the stuff, isn't it?
Healthy?
It's probably worse for you to breathe in like unleaded fuel when you go to the servo and you.
That's why they got vapor recovery pumps.
Yeah.
But we can go up with that. So then get them out the top. Senor Twistington. Or are you just going to manhandle it?
No, you can't.
Watch your fingers. Interesting that it's threaded straight into the knuckle. There's no nut or anything on the back side of it.
Yeah, considering everything else is like a pass-through nut.
Well, that's pretty well out on that side.
Cool.
But I think we're still going to have to kind of drop it and do a bit of left to right type of shenanigans.
There's only a tiny little bit left. There you go.
Yeah, that one's out. Help me.
Go in.
I don't have a lot of time here.
Go in.
Just, no, that's the wrong way. Yeah, we're good. Oh, lordy.
Okay, so
The thing we're going to have to be careful of is not bashing that seal. Oh yeah, no, we're good there. That's out. Yeah, but it's more just weird that that CV's not compressing.
That is odd.
Maybe there's actually broken bits in the diff.
I'm wondering if something
It's more broken than we'd anticipated.
There is actually, it just hadn't let go.
Yeah, until right now.
Yeah.
Because this shaft is very not wanting to come out.
Yeah, so that should slide way more easily than that. I wonder if it actually has like killed an axle and that was why it was single legging at the end.
No, it's not the axle.
Like,
The axle's fine. And maybe we were just fighting that snap ring the whole way.
could be.
It's
could
just
be that as
dragging
well.
through that. I think we're good to come down.
Yeah, the previous generation of this car used a completely different supplier.
Is this maybe just like globalizing
It could just be that
standard supply for
this brand
the whole
is part
brands? Yeah,
is
the
part
whole
of a very
network.
large manufacturer network that is
Yeah.
global. So
They've
know,
just gone to this supply for that.
these
diff
guys-
for every single vehicle they make.
these guys charge 20 cents a unit less or whatever, and across
Yeah.
50 million.
That's a lot
vehicles.
of savings.
Yep.
We'll get this out of the way. Plunk that there. Like I just want to undo this because then that should be able to come down.
Yeah.
Back these off too before we before we drop it,
Yep.
so that we're not actually trying to break those loose.
Yeah.
Normally I'll wind them off a bit so that once we settle it on the stands, you literally just jump under with a gun and
Zod
then
it
that's
out.
it.
How's
Yep.
it
You know him?
Yeah, Armenian bloke, isn't he?
You're tightening that. You just don't want to punch me in the mouth. These may not go back in this bracket. Just saying.
Okay, so they're loose.
My dog. Alright, I'll come down. I'm just going to sit it on it. Just jump out for a sec. Yep. Just whisper quiet. Good? I think it was just a shocks disconnect. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I deliberately didn't fuel the tank because it's pretty low on fuel and I actually want to clean the tank out.
Perfect.
Because the fuel that's in it is quite old and
Let's
probably
not-
doing forced induction things on 2-year-old fuel is suboptimal outcomes.
Just, you know what? It's just a risk you don't need.
No.
Yeah, filler, and then we got all the evap stuff, the quick disconnect line, and then...
These sounds like words like you know what you're doing.
I make it look that way. Do you want me to pull it or you?
Yeah. There we go. Oh, I've probably got a tool for that. Oh, that's fantastic. These are actually good. I got these ones on eBay.
What are they called?
These are quick
Fuel line
disconnect.
disconnect tools.
This brand of car uses quick
Heaps of them
disconnect. It's a modern car thing because you can see how much quicker and easier it is.
That was way less painful
Yeah.
after actually using the correct tool.
If you're dealing with maybe like a couple of litres left in the bottom of the tank, you can probably dilute it
Yeah.
to get the car running.
It probably had a quarter of a tank in it, I reckon, if I had to go numbers.
Okay.
Hey, watch out for spiders.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
I'm more watching out for not trying to cop a fuel tank in the head right now.
I'd probably rather a fuel tank to the head.
I wouldn't,
No?
because normally you get fuel with a fuel tank.
I still don't mind.
Fuel in the eyes.
I don't feel like you've had a fuel experience. Oh, it's not that bad at all.
Nah. It's not like those old steel tanks.
It's still the unknown of how much fuel's actually in it.
Not very much. Judging by that weight.
Not many, if any.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's definitely been here.
This is where a lot of people get these setups wrong, is actually not realising that these tanks need both sides.
Yeah. I'm actually impressed that they didn't hack the hole in the floor.
Yeah. Well, like I vaguely recall saying when we first did this ute,
Yeah.
it was a loved thing at some point.
Well, yes
What-
and no, because all the stuff that was previously on it was pretty, cost effective, shall we say.
Yeah, but someone actually cared about the car enough to actually put it on. They didn't just leave it standard and drive it into the ground.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's worse sometimes.
True.
You have all this really cheap stuff that doesn't quite do what you want it to do. What is the correct method of doing this, Ian? Is it literally just a chisel and a hammer.
Yep. Well, I mean, you could also use a flat blade screwdriver.
I've got a through tank pry bar, so. Shwing! So crossover inside the tank. Yep.
Yep.
Sploot.
Welcome to Benny's Waterworks. So there we go. Modular reserve assembly.
MRA.
Yep. So that's your float, which gives you your level. There's another one over here. Pumps in there, regulators all in there. One fuel line goes out. Nice and simple, easy to connect.
A crossover line in here.
Yep.
And there'll be like a jet pump type of scenario where it siphons off the low pressure side of the fuel reg, and it actually will transfer fuel from the left to the right hand side, because this is what's known as a saddle tank. So you end up with a big high point in the middle, which, unless you're doing a lot of high speed cornering, you're not getting that fuel transition. So it actually pumps the fuel from that side to this side to make sure that you always have even fuel, or fuel prioritised to the pump side.
Fuel at the head, as they call it. And that's why in extreme power situations, people will put a multiple pumps in one tank. But for this application, good quality aftermarket pump.
Yeah, single pump drop-in will be fine.
Single pump drop-in will be fine. And yeah, we don't need to mess with too much stuff in there, and tank goes back in. Okie dokie. Artichoke. It's crazy how similar these shifters are to E30 shifters.
Really?
But then there's like, this is like just like a modern version of it.
Do you remember how these clips undo? Like that, evidently. What size did you say these bolts were? 13s?
Yeah.
One bolts, and I think you've got all of them. Yep.
Be interesting to see how this clutch looks.
Fireball.
Well, it didn't get hot and smelly.
It got pretty shitty. The pedal feel was suboptimal.
Yeah, that could also be like a bit of the fluid. Do you want me to put it down?
That throw-up bearings just walked out of the crank. There we go. It was literally just like finding the right Christmas tree. Ta-da!
Are you too good for your home? Hey Benny, I don't mean to alarm you, but it looks like someone's been doing burnouts with this clutch.
Oh no.
You got a heat treated.
Oh yeah, I saw that. See if I can catch a flywheel with my face. I want to bring it down and put a push rod on the clutch pedal, because it'll actually stop the fluid coming out if we partly depress the clutch. At least it actually went all the way down. Yeah. Oh, I hope I got a fitting for that, because if I got a fitting for that, we can pressure bleed it. The clutch and brake master cylinder is combined. Oh, that's
Spicy.
I think the original throw-up bearing fitted to this ute was actually aluminium, whereas my drift car was plastic.
Yes.
Yeah, so they use this earlier style one in their conversion kits, because I think this one's stronger or better than that one.
Yes.
And that's why we have the billet adapter.
Yes. I'm glad to have provided such high quality
rebuttal. Glad we cleared that up.
Their instructions said something about removing this adapter.
Yeah, because we've got to put the remote bleeder on it.
Okay.
But I figured it'd be easier to mount it up first.
Yeah. So we're not
then trying to, and then we don't snap this fitting off the actual the throw-up bearing or anything weird like that.
Bad times you don't want to have.
Can you hold my nipple, please? Thanks.
I think more people would be like concerned if someone said that to them. But we travelled to America together.
Yeah, we've done many things.
We've had good times.
We have had good times. We genuinely have had a lot of good times together.
Yeah.
Without even being a weirdo.
What some guys do is they just put a bit of flap disc. Like they just run a flap disc in there because you're just worried about it contacting that surface there, because that will rub through. This is all going to move.
Yep.
If that rubs through, it's box out. The good thing is because it's got that boot on it, it'll actually hold the fire sleeve for me. That's going to work out mint.
Another spider.
Ah, sick.
Far out.
So that'll go there, and that's running over to the clutch master. Ian is actually going to take the diff to the diff shop for us on his way home, so he's leaving a bit early. And I'm going to finish the clutch install off, and then we'll get back here tomorrow and play Superchargers. So pretty excited to actually get that set up in the bay. We've got to remove the front bar, tear off all of the previous intake. We can't use the OTR anymore, so that'll all come off. The one thing we do need to try and find is some radiator brackets, so that's going to be more challenging than I anticipated actually, so
That's okay.
we'll work that out. Or we might make something.
It's
It is what it
literally,
is.
it's 2 brackets to hold the top,
We'll work
so
it out.
It's not difficult.
Thanks, bros.
We'll get to that tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Boy,
Catches.
you know how I was saying when we put this clutch into my drift car, how I thought the pedal was going to be pretty aggressive?
Yeah, with the
and
twin
hard
plate.
to drive with the twin plate?
Yeah.
It's just not, hey. Because
That's
I've had
cool.
heaps of those clutches with the organic discs, and I thought going to a solid center with the unsprung friction material, it'd be a bit funky. And I can't believe it.
Has the pedal feel changed anyway?
Not
Has the
really.
height changed in release point?
When your chicken wing comes good, you need to drive it.
Okay.
Like, it'll blow your mind, hey.
Okay. Yeah, keen.
I was so surprised by that.
Cool colour.
It's like the same color as my drift car.
Do they cut this out for weight saving purposes?
Yeah, so that's like a lightweight flywheel.
And lightweight would make it easier to, obviously, for the engine to spin. Sorry,
Yeah,
the
so
starter motor to spin.
engine RPM would go up and down quicker. So it would rev a lot quicker, but equally it also loses inertia. Like if you were towing, for instance, you wouldn't want to put a light and flywheel in a car. This not being a tow car, not really an issue for us. So that's the original clutch line, which we don't need anymore because we've got our braided line from Extreme, and this is a bit of a disappointment. It actually doesn't fit anymore, to be fair. Because we've done the earlier style concentric slave conversion, these fittings are actually all different. So it doesn't have this push connector in this end anymore. So it's all threaded. So this doesn't actually work anymore anyway. Remember to use the right flywheel bolts, as we learned previously in my drift car. Well, we didn't learn, we were shown. We got a lesson in what not to do with flywheel bolts. Don't go to random hardware shop to buy high tensile bolts, which turn out to be not high tensile at all. I love a good twin plate rattle. I don't know, I'm just an 80s JDM kid with that like quintessential rattle of all the high power cars like 15 years ago. Like all the Japanese made twin plates used to just absolutely sing.
Do you think people don't like the twin plate rattle noise because it sounds broken?
I don't think the people that own the car care. I feel like they worry about when people hear it.
Oh.
Like, people think my car's broken.
Oh, I see.
Like that perception that there's something wrong with their car.
Understood. You're right, people that don't know the noise would get confused by it.
I say this every single time and I'll say it again, and this is one of my favourite parts of the kit, a proper, really good quality steel input shaft alignment tool. On twin plates, that's absolutely 100% needed because some of the plastic ones, or even some of the steel ones that are inferior, you just really struggle to get that alignment. And when you've got two discs which move independent of each other, trying to get that to line up with both plates when you're trying to install the gearbox can be a massive challenge. So yeah, it's really nice to just get it dialed 100%.
Can we get an ASMR flick on that input shaft?
Doesn't even make noise.
Nice.
You weirdo. Just making sure it's all clean before we go chucking it in. Another thing I like about that install tool is you can literally fit the clutch discs from the backside. A lot of those alignment tools you actually need to assemble the whole clutch and then install it as one piece. It's just nice.
It just looks real satisfying too. Just
Real
watching this
satisfying.
plonk on.
Love a good plonk on.
Plonk.
Look at that. Would you look at that? Is there a balance mark? Yes, there is. So where is it? ARP.
What's with the whole balance mark thing?
Oh, because the clutch is
Is it the very
balanced as a
bottom?
unit.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
it'll be at the top. It's always at the top. There it is.
Benny the dentist.
Let's just not even bother turning it around.
What? Oh, you're just going
Well,
to
because I can just sight it
Okay.
with the mirror, because the cover's marked, and I
see.
know roughly where it is. It's gonna be about there.
Here goes.
Whiff!
Hey!
Not bad.
Way to believe in yourself.
I know, right? A bit of confidence never hurt anybody.
You've been practicing with that mirror?
Dental mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm moonlighting as a dentist. Bro, dentistry is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, how far that industry's come in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, when I say the last 10 years, I haven't been to a dentist until last year since high school, which is like 15 years.
Man.
So,
How'd
sorry
you go?
about my bad breath, everyone. Not too bad, but then I actually smashed one of my teeth off. So that one is fake.
I remember that actually.
Yeah, so I actually smashed that off, making an exhaust for the Cresta of all things. So I had this crown done, right? And they literally made it on the spot. So they used to grind your tooth down and then they'd make a wax mold of it and then send that away, and they'd make the porcelain crown off-site, and it'd take like a month, right? So you'd have this bodgy tooth in your face for a month. They literally got this piece of porcelain or ceramic and chucked it in this CNC mill, which is on the top. It looked like a printer. It was the same size as like a normal like inkjet printer that would be on the top of your desk, right? They literally machined it out of this porcelain in like 15 minutes, and I was done and gone in an hour.
That's insane.
I was $2,000 lighter in the pocket, but it was done within an hour, so pretty cool stuff. Just gonna tighten these up with the gun. Not that much.
You're not clunch dumping this time?
Nah, because I'm only nipping them up.
Yep.
And I really don't want to round those Allen key bolts out either.
Yeah. There's a time and place for clutch dumps.
And it's for loosening, not tightening. Texter.
Oh, you're going through and checking.
I'm just doing a
Nice.
double.
Nice.
And drop the diff off, no worries.
Sweet.
The only annoying thing we've got is the engine's dropped.
Oh, okay. Lucky you got these handles to leverage handles.
That'll work.
Yeah, smart. So you're not crushing fingers whilst you're, in case
Well,
the
then it
engine
means
decides to
we
drop.
can get the box in easier.
Yeah. Oh, I almost had it.
Never had it. There is a lot to be said for battery ratchets.
Especially of that size.
Yeah, the other one's good because it has more power, but it's way bulkier. I want a gear.
What are you trying to do there? You want a gear?
Get a gear, yeah.
So to put in the gear, so that stays stationary.
No, it's the opposite. So when I spin the output shaft, the input, if you have a look on the front,
makes sense. Yep.
so that means I can wiggle and align it
Yep.
on the actual clutch.
Yeah, nice.
Once I get it in spot, I got to get that clutch line run too.
Did you do the trick where you don't move the angle of this
Nah, I
stand?
moved it.
Okay.
But there's no guarantee that engine angle is the same anyway.
Oh, true, because then
Because we've moved stuff around and
fair. Look, there's going to be spiders in my dreams, I can just tell.
mad.
What's going to be in your dreams?
Hopefully nothing. I'll just go to sleep. Right, that should, by rights, give us a bit of engagement, but we've got too much trans height. Should actually get rid of this chain because now it's stopping us
Yeah.
being able to like manipulate the angle of the box easily.
Yeah.
You don't want to be pulling transmissions in on the bolts because you're either going to damage the clutch or break the bell housing or damage something else, and none of those are winning times.
Especially without time constraints.
Yeah, I know, right? You love doing things last minute.
Me? Yeah, of course.
I feel like that's all we ever do. So now we've basically got it to the point where I've got to get it on the dowels. I'm just going to put some bolts in it to position it.
Yep.
I'm not going to wind the bolts in.
But just to kind of hold the angle.
Yeah, just to keep the actual clocking of the box,
Yeah.
because it was trying to walk around a bit. Put the twisty stand here
Yeah.
and take the trans jack out
Yeah.
because it can't come out now. Right, so that's in. And like I said, we're not pulling the box in on the bolts.
Yeah, not with that little thing.
No, we can't. The thing's literally got 8 Newton meters, bro. But now that we've got those two dowels in position, I'm gonna basically wiggle it side to side.
Yeah.
And use those bolts to walk it in on.
Yeah. Remember this technique, people, for next time you're doing a gearbox on the ground and you think all hope is lost.
That can come out now. That's the thing too, I'm not gonna actually be able to get it up there while the engine's in the down position because it's currently pinched between the firewall.
Okay. How the hell are you meant to do that?
Just got to feed it up there once it's back in position.
Okay.
That's not too big of a deal.
This clip thing here that you're doing now is more the thing you got to do with the gearbox down, or in its current position, angled down a little bit.
I was thinking that it was going to be the clutch line back in the right spot, but I don't think I can actually get it in there in its current position. So.
Right. What does that plug into?
That one?
Yeah.
That's the exhaust sensors.
Ah, cool. Yeah, makes sense.
So they've got one on this side too, with the shifter. So it's actually a pin with a clip.
So that what you just clipped that into, what are those arms responsible for? Like what's...
That just steadies the shifter.
Why do your fingers sound like that?
Just lucky, I guess. Yeah. I might actually need to take that fitting off and fit it up the top.
Ah, okay.
Because I think I'm going to have excess hose anyway. Clutch line.
You almost need to buy one of those, you know how they pick up garbage on the side of the road with the clamp claw thing?
Yeah.
Would that be handy for you?
Probably not.
Oh, actually I think that exists as a mechanical tool, right?
Probably. I might have to go back up and feed it now that it doesn't have the head on it. That was never happening. All right, I can at least see it from there.
Yep.
So if I can see it from here up there, I should be able to get it with some pliers or a hook or something.
Cool.
I mean, it doesn't feel great. Oh, there we go, that's what I wanted. So now it's running up the top, and that will go in there, and that's a clutch line.
Beautiful. It's also perfect.
Except for when I put the coil pack on and it hits the coil pack.
Ah, yeah.
Nah, it'll be fine. Hopefully. Please don't be trapped, please don't be trapped, please don't be trapped. Minty.
So does that look like there's no air in it currently?
Nah, you can still see bubbles coming out.
True.
And see the fluid just change colour?
Yeah, you can see there's the minor interruption in flow sometimes.
Yeah. What I normally do, especially with these concentric ones, is I'll do like a pressure bleed now and then leave it to sit overnight, and then in the morning I'll do another bleed.
Okay.
And then, because it'll settle out and do its thing. And I'll also pump the pedal between bleeds as well, just to cycle the master cylinder, because this is a second hand, or the existing master cylinder, that's already bled up. So I wanted to make sure that it didn't bleed out before, so that's why I actually pushed it to the end of its travel, so that it's not trying to cycle fluid through the whole time. And then we end up with no fluid in the master, which means we can get air pockets in that. Just slow it down a little bit.
What's your reasoning behind slowing it down?
Just so I can see it better. I think that looks fine.
For those that haven't seen this, that's a brake pressure bleeder? Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. And how does it work again? It's got a bladder in there and there's...
Yeah, there's a bladder in it, and then the air pressure acts on the back side of the bladder, and it forces brake fluid through that semi-clear line into, well, in this instance, in the brake and clutch master cylinder, because it's a shared unit. And then basically it does the exact opposite of when you do a vacuum bleed. So instead of trying to suck the fluid out on the caliper end, you're pushing it through from the master cylinder end. So yeah, it makes, especially things like these clutches, 100 times easier to bleed. So yeah, it just works so much better.
Okay, so much better than like the vacuum system?
Yeah, I find the vacuum system, when you're starting with something that's actually got like air in the system, like so say, like for instance, we've replaced the line. In this car, we've actually replaced the line and the slave cylinder, and that's about to get noisy.
That's just depressurizing?
Yeah, I don't like to leave pressure in it.
How many PSIs does that sort of require to do that?
It's got regulated at like 30 PSI.
Yeah, cool.
So it doesn't smash a lot of fluid pressure into the system.
Yeah, cool. But basically it just forces all the air out, obviously. That's its job.
That's the premise of it, yeah. It just pushes everything out.
Yeah, handy thing.
Don't forget to put the cap back on and drop the socket. Nah, that's us done, bro.
Amazing.
Day one in the bag.
Good job. I'd high five you, but I'm holding the camera.
Yeah. High five your wonky hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so day one's in the bag. Massive thanks to Ian for coming out. Obviously, the episode's not over yet, so hopefully either tomorrow afternoon or Thursday morning, we'll actually have our diff back. So tomorrow, the aim of the game is to attack all of our Supercharger install, strip all the stuff out of the bay first, obviously. The engine balancer is not keywayed or pinned or anything standard on these engines, so we've actually got to drill and pin the balancer to the crank. We do fortunately have a kit to do that that's come with the Supercharger. So that means we've got to pull the radiator out to make a bit of room to actually get a drill in there. If anything, I do love its doweling cranks. But now we get to do 2 of them. So that'll get us sorted. And it actually means that the damper or the balancer will never spin on the crank and we're never going to lose efficiency from the Supercharger. Being a belt-driven compressor effectively, there is going to be resistance on that. So you want to have every chance of making the thing grip properly and not have any slip. So doweling or pinning the crank is one of the reasons or one of the ways you can actually circumvent a lot of those issues. But it's actually been quite a long day. I want to go home. Yeah, back tomorrow. I'm actually really excited to dive into the Supercharger tomorrow because I've never done one before. So front bar's going to come off. We've got a front mount intercooler for it. So it's going to look pretty cool. I think we've actually got a black one, so it'll be a little bit stealthy, which I like because I was actually going to paint it if it came bright. So yeah, if it's already powder coated, thanks guys, appreciate it. And if it's not, sad face. But no, I'm pretty sure it's powder coated, so that'll be mint. Yeah, throw it together tomorrow. And yeah, next episode, we're going to start tackling some other projects on the car. But yeah, tomorrow is a whole day of Supercharger going on. So wish us luck. A massive thank you to eBay and Sparesbox for supporting the project. I have just jumped online and ordered some more parts on eBay for our project. I have got an in-tank fuel system and I've also got some fuel injectors. Next episode, we are going to be diving into the big old Supercharger install. We are obviously preparing this vehicle for Summernats, so if you are going to be down at the Nats, by all means, come out and check us out in eBay Garage. It's going to be a good old time. We're going to be doing some skids, having a good bit of fun, doing some grass laps, all sorts of deals. So yeah, if you're coming out, it's going to be a good thing. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. I deliberately didn't, now my brain's just gone to mush. I don't know. I don't know what I deliberately didn't do, but I didn't do it.
You deliberately didn't finish that sentence.